What's going on, guys? ChaseWins.com, Venture Sports Consulting. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Going to try to make this video as short as possible. We got a good bit to go over, as I haven't done a video in a couple of days. So not only do we have to recap what we had Tuesday, but we also have to recap what we did Monday and Sunday as well. Not doing something Sunday video-wise is not uncommon for me, especially the fact, at this time of year, usually all I'd be worried about is Major League Baseball. Patrick would be doing NASCAR, but we would still have our normal Sunday morning meetings to, get his card finalized so I could get everything up on the site for everyone. But, horse racing is going on. We have NBA going on, NHL going on. So Sundays are not uncommon. That's why I stress the fact of make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on Twitter @PicksChase. That way you can, no matter how I give a free play, you'll always get to see it. Congrats to the winners of the free month. Gave away 4 of those on Monday, yesterday. And, technically it's already Wednesday, but gave away 4 of those on Monday, so congrats to everyone, and they got to kick it off with 2 great days. So let's get into a recap of Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and then we'll get you on a free play for Wednesday and tell you what we've got going on. So on Sunday, we had 2 plays in Major League Baseball. We did not release any NHL or NBA, and we had horse racing, which was a phenomenal day. And so let's do this. Our free play that we had given out on Saturday was for a game involving the Cincinnati Reds and ended up getting postponed due to weather. So no big deal. They're going to play a doubleheader on Sunday. I hate the fact that they're doing 7-inning doubleheaders. I can't stand that. But nevertheless, premium play was the Cincinnati Reds on the money line in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Bauer versus Norris, that was a nice winner there. And then that was it. That one was supposed to go at 3:15, but it ended up not starting until sometime after 5, I think. But then we had one other play, premium, which was a small underdog play, the Texas Rangers on the money line plus $1.10, which was a nice easy winner from start to finish there. So what do you know? Another sweep. Then we get into Monday, where we had 2 plays. We did one in the MLB and one in the NHL to kick back off our NHL season, right where we left off. We had the Oakland Athletics on the run line, minus $1.20. They ended up winning 11-1, 11-2. It was an absolute blowout. And then we had the Pittsburgh Penguins in regulation, so it was minus a half point, minus $1.10. They won 3-1 in regulation. So we kicked back off our NHL season with a nice winner. We sweep the board in MLB again, go 2-0 overall for Monday. And then we get into Tuesday. Did not release any NHL or NBA, just MLB. And 2 plays there, both premium plays. The LA Dodgers on the money line with Dustin May, somebody I've talked about ever since he was on the Dodgers radar, ever since he got drafted. That's been somebody I've talked heavily about. He looked phenomenal in his first start this year, and he did not disappoint. So the LA Dodgers were a very small favorite on the money line, minus $1.25. They took care of business pretty handily there. And then we had the LA Angels on the run line, minus 1.5 at minus $1.20, and they took care of business 5-3 there. So what do you know? Another sweep. That puts us at 23-3 overall for the MLB season so far, and it's either 24 or 25-4 overall since sports have started back. So congrats to everyone. 3 sweep days in a row. It's just not slowing down at all. Congrats to everyone that signed up, whether it be a short-term package, a long-term package, whatever you've done, you have made a tremendous amount of money. Even people that, went and bought the entire MLB season or a 1-year all-access pass, anything that they've done in the last week, most have made all, if not all, their money back and then turned a profit on top of it. And we're just now over a week into the season. We're 10 days into the season, 11 days into the season, and it couldn't be going any better. But what else did you expect? So let's get on a free play, but just to give everybody a heads up, there's nothing major going on at the site. I am eyeballing one potential big game later in the week. Obviously we've got to see what's going on as far as pitching, the way the bullpens match up once we get there. So that'll just remain to be seen. But if you want a 3-day pass, you can get it for $50. That gets you 3 days of all premium and daily top plays in all sports. Better bang for your buck is 7 days for $100. That gets you the same thing. Only sports you do not get is NASCAR, of course. And then a month pass is $3.99. You'll make your money back in the first few days, and you'll have the rest of the month to keep cashing in. Again, none of this includes NASCAR. NASCAR is completely separate unless you're on a 1-year all-access pass. If you would like to get on a 1-year all-access pass, send me an email, chase@chasewins.com. I'll hook you up with something special if you want to do that. But that is really what we got going on, pretty basic. And yeah, so let's get on a free play. Try to keep it as short as possible. Let me check the line here. Now, this is a line that I think is going to change, so you'll want to pay attention to this in the early hours tomorrow, and I do think that the start time could change. One thing that I wanted to say is one of the reasons I didn't get to do a video for Tuesday was the hurricane that everybody was expecting to hammer Florida. And don't get me wrong, Florida, they got some pretty bad weather. But it actually made landfall in North Carolina, right there, basically at the border, the North Carolina-South Carolina border. And we're about 2 hours inland. So we're not on the coast, but, we're obviously not far from it. And when it made landfall yesterday, or even before so, we absolutely got pounded. Tornado warning after tornado warning after tornado warning. Ton of damage was done, a lot of flooding. And, it literally crept out of nowhere. We knew it was coming, but usually, for at least a few hours, you get some kind of sketchy weather before all hell breaks loose. And it went from sunny, not even the slightest of a breeze, not a cloud in the sky, to immortal hell just like that. And it did that for pretty much the majority of the day yesterday on through the night. And then you wake up this morning, not a cloud in the sky, not a breeze, not nothing. So it was a very fast moving storm. So everybody on the East Coast, my prayers are with you. Hope everyone's safe and everybody, didn't have any damage or anything. But so we had to deal with that yesterday. A lot of power outages around. But it's all over now. So, all right. But because of that, the weather that's moving up the East Coast, obviously D.C. was hit pretty hard with some bad weather this morning. That whole area, Philly, Baltimore, New York, all of it was expecting bad weather this week, the aftermath of this storm. So some of these games on the East Coast, especially ones getting close to, the ocean, in a place like Baltimore or a place like New York, times could be subject to change, especially when you're dealing with a double header, because again, no fans are there. So they have the ability just to change something at the drop of a dime, especially if it's a game that's not being televised on, like a primetime game on ESPN, something like that. So what we have going into Wednesday is we have a doubleheader involving the Marlins and the Orioles. And this is a game that is scheduled to start at 5:05 p.m. Eastern Time. It would not surprise me, depending on what the weather is tomorrow morning, if they're expecting some bad weather in the later afternoon or evening hours, that they push this thing up, because again, they've got to try to get 2 games in. So we got to see what's going on there. But as of right now, 5:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, right now everything's still showing 5:05. So hopefully it'll go for that, but just pay attention to it. If you're going to wager this game, don't just say, I'll wager it at 4:30, because you may go at 4:30 and realize, the game's over. Don't know what'll happen, but if nothing changes, it goes at 5:05. Your 2 pitchers that have been now announced so far, make sure you pay attention to this. Hernandez for the Marlins and Cobb for the Orioles. My recommendation here is that you mark both of them. Cobb is the one that is intriguing me more so than Hernandez. I don't care too much about him. You can't really have an honest opinion of him as far as 2020 goes, because he hasn't started. So we'll just have to wait and see. It's based off of previous, information that we have on him. But Cobb is the one that I'm worried about. He was the one that, going into the season I was worried about, because sometime last year, I can't remember how far into the season, but it was the latter part of last year, he went down with some he had a hip injury, so he had to have surgery on that. That's one of those surgeries that you never know what the outcome's going to be afterwards. It's not like doing a standard arm surgery where it's like, hey, based on the player's age, based on the player's stamina, based on, what wear and tears on his arm already, they can kind of predict how he'll bounce back, at what rate, so on and so forth. A hip is a whole different ballgame. Same thing, people talking about Tua Tagovailoa, for Miami, one that played at Alabama. When he dislocated his hip, people were like, oh, it's over. He'll never play again. He's going to start for the Miami Dolphins this year. It looks like he's still limping a little bit to me, but you just never know how somebody's going to come back from a hip injury, especially when they have to have hip surgery. So, they could come back even better, or they may never get back to what they were. Now, in saying that, that's not saying that I didn't have faith in him, because we talked about him in a previous video, but let's see, he went 1-0 in his first start, like a 2.7 ERA or something like that. How many strikeouts did he have in that game? 8 strikeouts in that game. So a 2.89, ERA. 8 strikeouts. And he's already pitched 9 1/3 innings, but he's recorded 1 win so far. So as of right now, so far, very healthy, looked very good, very strong. Hernandez is one of those guys that, it remains to be seen. I don't have the highest hopes for him. He was one of those opening week starters that everybody was looking forward to seeing, but then, of course, I guess everybody decided to rub each other's face or something, and the whole team gets COVID, and so we haven't seen him play. I know that the Marlins beat the Orioles on Tuesday night, and the Orioles are not a great team. Hell, they're really not even a good team. But what did I say going into this season? Go back and watch previous videos. I said all these wannabe cappers out here that think that they know baseball are going to do 2 things. They're going to favor teams like the Dodgers and the Yankees all season, no matter what, and they're going to fade teams like the Marlins and the Orioles. And why? Because they were the worst teams in baseball, granted. Oh, and some of them will fade Detroit. But I said, the Orioles are not somebody to sleep on. Are they a good team? No. Are they coming around? Yeah. We don't know what that's going to be because, again, a team that only spends around $60 million in a budget, they have, in my opinion, the best farm system in baseball. I've said that many times, but they piss a lot of it away. Not to Detroit's level, but it seems like whenever they get talent and they start to mold a team, they get rid of all but one player. It's like they have that mentality of, all we need is one guy. One guy, he makes the franchise. Manny Machado, well, he didn't do it, did he? Alex Jones, well, he ain't done it. I mean, they've got to start building teams, and they're starting. I mean, they've had a couple of really, really rough years where it seems like there's no end in sight. Now, again, truth be told, they've played well this season. They really have. Now, when you talk about 2 teams where you would fade them more often than not that are playing each other, I think we're in for a good ball game. Now, in saying that, the Marlins won on Tuesday, but here's one thing that the Orioles have done, win or lose, for the past 2 years. They're aggressive at the plate. They're going to swing the bat. They're going to get some hits, and they're not just going to go in and accept their fate, like so many bad teams will do, like a Detroit, like Kansas City was doing every time out last year. They're going to go in and swing. They're going to give you hell. Their pitchers are going to try, and they're not scared to completely deplete a bullpen just to pull out one win. Case in point, the other night when the Yankees came back and they were playing at Camden Yards. Now, the Yankees have absolutely owned Baltimore for the past few years. I mean, in truth be told, just history-wise they have. But for the past few years, the Yankees have played better at Oriole Park at Camden Yards than they have anywhere else in baseball, and that includes Yankee Stadium. That has been their true home park. They hit home runs every time they go. Usually, not only do they win the game against the Orioles, they royally, anally assault them. But the other night, when I said on video the day before, I said I got a funny feeling about this game, the Orioles won that game. Despite the score being in favor of the Yankees, had it not been for the trash ump giving Aaron Judge, making sure that he was going to hit a home run no matter how many pitches it took. I didn't realize that Aaron Judge doesn't have to get three, no 3 strikes on Aaron Judge. He has to get about 9 of them because, he's the golden boy. That's just the way the Yankees have always been. Case in point, I had somebody text me the other day, and it was when Aaron Judge hit that home run against the Orioles at Camden Yards, and that was the one that it was taking the lead. The Orioles were winning that game. The game was all but over, and their bullpen was, calling their pitches. Well, Aaron Judge steps up to the plate, quick foul ball. There's 1 strike, then they get a ball, and then 3 consecutive pitches down the middle. Beautiful pitches. A blind man could have told you that they were a strike. Even the announcers, and Harold being one of them, a former Oriole, was, completely biased the entire game going, that was a strike. This is a man that didn't like the Yankees when his playing days, but has been nothing but in favor of Aaron Judge. He goes, look, a strike is a strike is a strike, and when it is so blatantly obvious, he said, what are you doing here? So get a text going, told you, Aaron Judge does it again. I'll read it. Aaron Judge does it again. Slaps it from Baltimore all the way back up to New York. You can't keep him down. Strongest bat in the game. Well, whatever. If you get 9 strikes and then you get to underhand one and you lay it over the middle, of course Aaron Judge, and the freak of nature that he is going to hit a home run. And that's what the Orioles had to do. Unless he physically swings at that 3rd strike, nobody's going to call it for him. They'll sit there all night and either walk the big goof or they're going to let him get a hit. Watch him every time up at bat when the game's on the line. Miraculous how he gets so many home runs. When he's really, truth be told, he doesn't watch his pitches very well. Sorry, Yankee fans. Sorry, Judge fans. I like Aaron Judge. I'm just not going to sit there and cater to him. Just like, Giancarlo Stanton. He's the most overpaid, useless person in baseball. You took a National League outfielder with a strong bat, one of the best power hitters in the game, a above-average outfielder, can't run very well, not base running, but an above-average outfielder, and you go, oh, you know what? We're going to overpay you to be a designated hitter for the New York Yankees, which means, in normal person terms, every time you step up to the plate, if you don't get a home run, you failed. The only time we're not going to make a fuss about it is if there's multiple people on base and you get a couple of RBIs out of a base hit or something, while you run like a 3-legged gazelle to first. Giancarlo Stanton is now the most overpaid, useless person in baseball. He'll get a home run every now and again, and the world goes crazy. But okay, what about the other 40 strikeouts leading up to that? Sorry. There's my rant for the day. Garrett Cole's not the best pitcher in baseball. Not the second best either. Sorry, guys. And Aaron Judge nor Giancarlo Stanton are either of the best hitters. Sorry. Anyway, the Orioles are aggressive. The Marlins, I think they will be aggressive. I think they were showing in the early games that they are going to be a lot more aggressive. I think this is going to be where Jeter starts to really show what he's been trying to build. But guys, they just came off from this big layoff. Being aggressive is the only thing you have to even remotely hang around games, no matter who you're playing. That's going to catch up to them in one of the first 3 games, and it's not going to end well no matter who you're playing. And I think that's game 2, or I think that's their second game back. I think that's going to be game 1 in this doubleheader against the Orioles. I think the Orioles are going to come out swinging for the hills. They've got a really good starting pitcher by their standards, not by Major League standards, but by Oriole standards. They've got a good starting pitcher. Their bullpen is in a little bit better shape than I thought it was going to be going into this game. They didn't run through a field of arms in game 1. They kind of just let their fate be what it was because the Marlins were swinging the bat so well. But in this second game, game 1 of the doubleheader on Wednesday, I think that the Orioles not only have a severe pitching advantage, a substantial pitching advantage for the starting pitching. I think their bullpen's in better shape, and I think their bats are going to come alive a little bit. What's going to happen in Game 2 of that doubleheader is really going to be pretty dependent on what goes on in Game 1, what kind of rhythm you can carry over, or what kind of slump you may can break out of. So in Game 2, I'm not even worried about that one yet. Game 1 of the doubleheader, make sure you mark Cobb and Hernandez. If you do run with a book like William Hill where you can only mark one starting pitcher, you're welcome to do that and just take Cobb for the Orioles. That way, if the Marlins were to make a change last minute, we'll still take it, because I don't think they're going to put in anybody that's going to, in my opinion, make them the team to pick. But if the Orioles were to make a change, then we'll be able to get out of that one unscathed. But with everything the way it is now, Game 1, 7 innings, Cobb on the hill, Baltimore catching $1.10 as a small dog. And keep in mind, I think that's going to change. I think that they're going to end up being 130 to 140 favorites if people are smart in this. I think that the money's just going to move it. Now, if people are thinking, because again, they had only played, 2-3 games, and they were ahead of the Braves, who had, won 5 games. So it's this winning percentage thing is, they were still leading the NL East before they came back from this hiatus. So I think people are looking a little bit too much into the standings right now. The standings mean nothing, and they're going to mean nothing until postseason. I'm going to take the Orioles. I think the Orioles are a better team in this spot. I think they're a little more aggressive team overall, and they've got the pitching advantage, and their bullpen, for once in the early going of a series, isn't depleted after night 1. So give me the Baltimore Orioles plus $1.10 as a small dog in Game 1 of the doubleheader, and that'll be your free play for the day. Guys, go sign up for a package and start making some money with a real capper who consistently wins day in and day out and doesn't have to sit there and try to either copy someone else or, just make videos talking trash about someone else in hopes that you will buy. I make 20-something minute videos every day, and less than a minute of it is talking about, what you can buy. It's doing recaps, which should be a requirement. And it's giving you an in very great detail of what game I want you to play and why. We've only lost one free play video since coming back from the sports hiatus, and hopefully we'll cash this one too. I'll see you guys back for Thursday. Have fun on that play, and let's go sweep another day. See you guys.